I'm all wrapped up with my 2009 Chevy Cobalt project. I finished the complete rebuild on it. When I got this car from the insurance auction, it came in with suspension damage. So I replaced the subframe, front subframe, 4 brand new tires and rims, shock, suspension, steering rack, but the body was in perfect shape. This car is overall a really clean, nice car. It currently has 130,249 miles on it. Runs great, drives great. There's a couple little extras I did. I put in a boost gauge. I still have to order an AEM gauge for it. It's an OBD2 gauge, so it just plugs in your OBD2 sensor. Put a leather steering wheel in it, leather wrapped steering wheel, and upgraded the sound system to the Pioneer sound system with the sub and all the speakers, and got a new key fob and replacement key. So this car turned out great. The suspension damage was pretty severe, and I can see why people shied away from buying it, but it turned out pretty great. So I'm going to do a complete total cost breakdown on it. So let me get a pen and all the paperwork and receipts, and we'll go over it. Alright, so here is a total project car breakdown. The original bid amount was $375, was the winning bid, and then the total IAAI cost to get the car from the auction to the garage with the bid, buyer's fee, service fee, shipping, environmental fee, and tax. The total for all the IAAI costs from winning bid to garage was $835. The second one is parts and outside repairs. Outside repairs, I mean like getting the tires mounted and the alignment. The total parts and outside repairs was $1,100, and that's for the subframe with suspension and steering rack, brake lines and hoses, wheels and tires, tax, and then miscellaneous parts, and then the outside repairs like the tire mounting and alignment. And then the last part was state patrol inspection, titling, and registration, and that includes the U-Haul car dolly and U-Haul truck to get it to the state patrol for inspection, the gas for that vehicle, and the actual cost of the title, registration. I think that included the inspection fee, and the total cost of that was $443. So the subtotal cost is $2,378 plus miscellaneous fees of $150, and that's for bolts or I think I bought tie rod ends and a couple other miscellaneous parts that equal the $150. So the total cost of the vehicle was $2,528, not including any labor. So the best way to make these cars work out financially is to buy the same kind of car multiple times, and then you can really save money in the parts department. I parted out a 2008 Chevy Cobalt Sport, where not only did I make all the money that I paid for the car, I made a profit on the parts from parting it out, but then I was able to use the parts for this project, which was $700 on parts on hand. So I took the $700 minus that from the total cost of $25.28, and that equals $18.28 in total out-of-pocket expenses. And when you do the same kind of car multiple times, you occasionally find a car that you're trying to repair that the frame damage is too bad, or it's just overall in too bad a shape. And then if you part it out, you can make usually more money parting it out than you would fixing up and reselling it. And then you can use the leftover parts, or the parts you need, for your next project. Another benefit to parting out a car that you've bought from the insurance auction a few times is when you put ads up, you already know customers that are looking for certain parts. So you're able to call them and tell them you don't have an engine or transmission you might be interested in. So it really is easier to do the same kind of vehicle multiple times. And I have a passion for Chevy Cobalt, so that's usually what I do for my personal projects at my house, just to make a little bit extra money. And then after I've rebuilt a car, usually I'll drive it for a little while before I go ahead and sell it. So that way I can make sure it's in perfect shape before I give it to the next person, and plus I get a little bit of use out of it. So eventually I'm going to switch. I'm always going to do Cobalts because I love them. But eventually, in order to start making a decent profit, I probably am going to have to switch to a newer car. They stopped making this car in 2010. And right now, the current value of a car like this is, in my area, the approximate value is about $3,500 to about $4,000. But with the labor involved, it is sometimes a little bit better to buy a newer model car. I pay a little bit more for it because there's a bigger profit margin when you buy that same kind of car. Let's say one of my next projects I'm trying to get is a manual transmission Chevy Cruze. So if I start parting out Chevy Cruzes, not only can I make profit on the parts, but when I come to my own rebuild projects, I'll have the parts on hand. So this is my 2006 Chevy Cobalt. I just completely stripped down the engine on this, and I'm sending it out to get the head machined at the machine shop and the block machined. And then I have a rebuild kit on order for that. So I'm going to completely rebuild it. It only had 45,000 miles. I did all the body work to it already, which was pretty much just the radiator support, mounts, but I'm currently doing a engine swap. So I'm putting in the 2.4 liter Chevy Cobalt Sport from I think a 2008 or a Chevy Cobalt SS. I think it was a 2008. So next time I get some free time, I'm going to continue with the entire swap. I'm going to switch out the wiring harness, the BCM, the ECU, and all that. And I just hit 800 subscribers on my channel, so I'm going to make this a little fleet update too. This is my 2009 Chevy Cobalt, and this is the one I bought new. This car has been an absolute joy to own. I'm about ready to upgrade the brakes. To the big brake kit, and I'm going to put in Chevy Cobalt SS disc brake rear axle. So I'm going to upgrade the rear axle, and I think I'm due for an oil change in the next 1,000 miles. This car currently has 318,909 miles. So when this car hits 319,000 or 320,000 miles, I'm going to do a oil change. I have the ZZP coil cover, the K&N cold air intake, oil catch can. I've done a few little upgrades. A strut tower brace. I just put new suspension on it as far as the shocks and struts. So this car is coming right along. The next couple cars I have my eye on to try to get at the auction are the Chevy, I think it's a 2014 Chevy Cruze 6-speed. So I'm really interested in that car because I'd love to do a Chevy Cruze. And then there is a Chevy Cobalt LT. There's a couple states away, but it's an LT with a 5-speed, and I think it doesn't run, but it's black with silver stripes on it down the hood and the roof. So I really want that car too. So those are two cars I have my eye on. And then I have my eye on a Chevy Cobalt SS, but I think that was a 2006. So I'm not super interested in it, but if it goes for the right price, why not? Oh yeah, one more car I'm interested in is a Chevy Malibu. I don't know what it's a Chevy Malibu. I don't know what trim level it is, but it has the 2.2 liter turbo engine. So I might get a Chevy Malibu. I think that was a 2016. But stay tuned to the channel if you're interested in seeing these upcoming projects. I will always do Chevy Cobalts because I love them, but I do want to get a few other kind of cars in the mix. If you like this content, go and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.